We are back with Star Wars Jedi Survivor. We are revisiting this conversation because we have an expert here in hard games, and that is none other than our friend Joe, here to hang out and talk about games that he likes that are challenging. And this game, I think, is one that can be very challenging if you allow it to be. So you come from a Souls background. You love Souls games. I feel like you're one of the people that I go to for, like, if I need to hear about Souls games, it's like, I'm going to talk to Joe.
I'm the guy you come to when you want to find out about a game you don't want to play, basically. That's how it's been so far. Last time I was on was Elden Ring, and you're like, yeah, I played it, but I stopped playing it after I got killed by wolves or whatever.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It's like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
So anytime there's a game you don't want to play, that's when I'm on.
Yeah.
So Jedi Survivor is the follow-up to Jedi Fallen Order, and it does have this Souls-like combat, like the last one did, but I feel like it's just a lot more streamlined here and a lot less floaty. It's you have a lot more options as far as like the type of lightsabers you're using. I know you guys are pretty early on, but there are 5 total lightsaber stances you can take.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because you've got, like we're seeing right here, you've got your double lightsabers, you've got your dual blades, you've got your basic like single lightsaber, and then there are a couple, there's a couple others. I won't spoil what they are since you haven't gotten there.
Dang it, I want to talk to you about one.
You can talk about it. I already know what some of them are.
Okay.
So FYI, there will be stance spoilers in this conversation.
Okay, so a little bit of spoilers. So as far as stance spoilers. As far as the stances go, you've got your single blade plus a blaster, which is pretty cool and fun to use.
No, I'm just kidding.
It's nice because it adds a little bit of range to it without having to throw your lightsaber. You're kind of a combo of hitting with one hand. You're almost like a pirate. Like you've got your sword in one hand and the blaster in the other. And then your last one is your like strong blade, essentially, which is kind of like a Kylo Ren's blade, where it's got the
little pieces that come
out the side, and that's essentially like
a broadsword.
Yeah, a broadsword. Basically, if you're talking in terms of like a Elden Ring or something, it's your big swords, basically. So it's your powerful, slower moves, and that's that's a style I really default to, because that's how I like to play my Souls games too, is the big stuff. So that was a really cool thing for them to add for me, and a complete surprise because I didn't see it coming. And then I get that thing and I'm like, oh, I love this, because I'm just like slamming down on rancors and stuff, and it just feels so good and very satisfying.
How long did it take for you to unlock all stances?
Oh, I'm gonna say like
Not long.
Yeah, I don't think it took too long, because have you unlocked them all too?
Yeah. So after you leave this planet, you eventually get the longsword.
The first planet. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So because the whole point of like this planet is to get to the moon.
Yeah, the shattered moon.
Yeah.
And then, so you get it pretty early on, all your stances, so you don't have to worry about that. So you get to play it kind of however you want to. You're still just using a lightsaber the whole time, but you're able to customize your lightsaber hilt and everything, and your blaster as well. If you use the blaster / lightsaber stance, you can customize. And then BD1 customize his stuff as well. I think you did it in the last one too. I don't remember exactly, but
they didn't have the depth of customization that they have. I really like the customization additions here.
Yeah, being able to wear something other than a poncho in this one is great. I love all the different costume options I have.
So did you hear about the thing with the actor who played?
No.
So I guess at the Star Wars Celebration, he brought it up to the developers. I don't know if it was a joke or if it was for real. I kind of felt like it was real, and he just like tried to make it a joke too. But he was like, "Bring back the poncho. We need that poncho." He was like, "Long live the poncho." I was like, that's awesome. I did like the poncho in the last one. It's not my favorite.
Yeah.
But like, I think it added character to him. And luckily you do
made
get
him
one
a dude who
eventually.
liked ponchos.
Yeah.
And, you can still wear a poncho in this. I'm not saying there's no ponchos whatsoever. So if you are just a huge poncho stand, then it's there for you. Otherwise, like, were there any questions you had about the game for me? Because I can go on about different things. But
I got some.
Yeah, what'd you
go for it?
What's your favorite 2 stances? Because you can only pick 2 at a time.
The ones I usually have on are the dual sabers. Because you can do like different kind of
moves.
You can do different moves, yeah, but you can also like style your feats differently, like
yes.
whatever you have as far as additional
Those
abilities.
are like perks.
And yeah, your perks and your talent tree. And so I built my talent tree more around lightsaber combat initially, more so than force using. So my defaults are the broadsword one and the two sabers, because those are the two like strongest ones. And so since I'm doing like primarily lightsaber combat, I wanted to have the two strongest saber
dual
things.
wielding sabers. Okay.
Yeah, but I go like I could use any of them. I've tried all of them and I like all of them, and they all function basically the same. It just kind of depends on what you're doing. If you really want to focus on deflecting blaster shots, the best one to use is the dual blade saber, because all you have to do is kind of like, if you press it at the right time and then just hold it, it's going to deflect everything back at your target, versus the others where you have to hit it on point every single time a blaster shot's about to hit for it to deflect back at them. What's cool about the holding two sabers when you do that is like, if you get shot by something and you deflect it at the right time, it will split the shots apart and then hit two different targets. So it's almost like you're slicing the shot in half, which is cool.
Which one is that?
The two sabers.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's one of the talents you pick up
Skill
from that
tree
tree.
upgrade.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That's cool.
Do you use the mind tricks at all?
Only sometimes. And the time that I would use it usually is like if there's a lot of beast together that I'm having to fight at the same time. It's like, okay, I think it'll be a lot easier if I get one of these dudes to fight all the other ones for me. Like there was at one point where I had to fight like two different Wampa looking things. Like I don't remember what the Wampas are called in this. Like the ones that look like abominable snowmen type things or whatever.
Yeah,
Bigfoots basically with the horns. And so there was a point where I had to fight like a big boss one and then another like secondary one. So I just mind controlled the secondary one so he would fight against the boss, so I could give me a little bit of breathing room to beat that. But then there's like tears or something. I don't remember what they're called, like forced tears essentially that you're going into as like little challenge, not dungeons, but little challenge like points that you go into where it's like you'll have to fight different things. Sometimes you have to fight them with like, it's forcing you to use dual sabers in this one. So it's like beat all these enemies with just your dual sabers or with the broadsword. Or one of them, the two hardest ones for me have been like fight two of these frog guys at the same time.
Apparently that is the worst.
They're the hardest enemies in this game. I don't know why, but the frogs are the worst. And yeah, it's fighting two of them at the same time makes it terrible because you can't mind control them in that dungeon or in that tear. So you just have to deal with it. And then there's one where you have to fight two rancors at the same time. That was really hard also because they hit like trucks. I love that you can deflect all their hits. That's great. But I mean, aside from like the red one, when it's the really telegraphed, like, oh, this is about to grab me and kill me in one hit. Because they also have the insta kills where it's like, if he grabs you and puts you in his mouth, you're already dead. Like you cannot survive that. So yeah, there's just a bunch of really cool stuff I love about this game. The story is pretty great as well. And I am about to finish it. And I thought that I was going to finish it last night, and then a twist happened. I won't say anything about, but I wasn't ready for it.
Dang.
Yeah. And so I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's awesome. But I also was going to make the game a little bit longer for me. But I think, like I was talking about before we started recording, I'm maybe like 25 hours in and I'm about to beat it. So it says on average, like story plus side stuff is going to be about 30 hours. And I would agree with that.
Nice.
Do you think, do you like the story better here, or do you prefer Fallen Order?
I think, this,
different?
It's different. Yeah. I think they're both good, but this one I like better because it's more refined. You know, the team, the stakes just feel higher because it's not just completely new characters being thrown at you.
Yeah.
So you're familiar with these characters, you're more attached to them, and you have more reason to, I guess, be like, okay, so I understand the stakes now because it's not just, Cal Kestis isn't just some brand new character to me.
Right.
I have a history with him now. So his plot throughout has more meaning to it.
Yeah.
For me personally.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I mean, I also like that they kind of throw you in with like a lot of like abilities and stuff like right off the bat.
Yes,
you know?
that's great. It's not like Metroid where you're having to like relearn everything every single game. This one's like everything you knew last game, you have it immediately. You can already force push, force pull, all that stuff. Everything you're getting in addition to that is just like adding to what you already had. So you can already double jump when you start the game, which is fantastic because I hate it when you can't double jump in a game that will allow you to double jump eventually. Yeah, it's like, just let me double jump. And so they do right away, which is very much appreciated.
Yeah. I love the world in this game too. Like when I first got in here, because like, you know, when it first launched, there was a lot of bugs. Are you playing on PC or are you playing on console?
PC.
Okay. Yeah, when it first launched, you know, there was a lot of people complaining about the bugs and stuff like that. And when I jumped into it, I was actually surprised. I mean, there was a lot of game-breaking bugs, yes, that I ran into because I played it like 2 days early. I got the early access or whatever for it. But performance-wise, like it was running really well. And it looks really, really good. I don't know if you've had the same experiences or if it's been different for you in any way.
Yeah, I picked it up on launch day and it was like performance wise, it was a little rough sometimes. Like I would normally get 60, but then it would drop down to 40 something sometimes just randomly.
No.
And patches have really fixed that up a lot. But then there were some planets where for whatever reason, or not even whole planets, but sections of planets where it would just crash every time I got to a certain point.
Wow.
And then I had to and they might have patched this out at this point because that was a few days ago. But the point that I was at that time, I had to turn on ray tracing for it to not crash there. But then that slowed down things because it's just ray tracing's on.
Yeah.
So it's like I had to deal with that, but at least I wasn't crashing. So there was, oh my gosh.
Gotta go back
We're seeing a troll get beat up really bad against a wall.
Getting hit against the wall. Yeah.
That's crazy. You had to go through that workaround. How did you figure that out?
I just had to look it up because I was like, how are people getting past this part? Because it was like an integral part of the story and I just could not progress because I would crash every time I would reach this point. And I'm like, I don't want to have to keep doing this because that's like the save point was like 2 minutes back and that's 2 minutes of combat I'm having to do every single time I hit this point.
Yeah.
So I had to find that workaround and ray tracing on worked for me. And then I was able to luckily turn it off after I got past that point, but I shouldn't have had to do that, period.
Exactly.
And that is the one bad thing I would say about this game. As much as I like it, is like, I still feel like performance isn't 100%. I haven't crashed in days, so that's good. But the fact that I had to deal with it at all sucks. And I'm sure other people are still having to deal with that to a variety of different degrees. I don't know how badly it is on console since I play it on PC. But you're playing it on PS5?
No, I'm playing on PC as well.
PC? Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jason played on PS5. He said it ran well. It just, he had a lot of like frame rate dips, especially in like high action moments.
Yeah.
You'd see like that banding kind of thing going on and stuff like that, you know? So there was.
Oh, yeah.
I heard that, but I also heard that like PlayStation 5 was the best performing system out of all of them.
Okay.
When the game launched.
Yeah, I heard Xbox was the worst.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
Well, it's like, and in games like this or any Souls-like game, like that's where performance matters so much because every frame is so important when you're trying to parry something or like deflect blaster shots. It's like you need that accuracy, that pinpoint accuracy. Luckily, this game is very forgiving as far as like parrying goes. Like you can parry, you got a good window there. You don't have to do it like right as they're hitting you. You can do it like a little bit before the hit goes off and it'll be fine. So it at least kind of accounts for that. It's a little bit more accessible as far as all that goes. But be ready for some performance issues if you're getting it on PC especially.
Yeah.
And make sure you have like a pretty decent system if you want to play it on high settings.
I never had a lot of problems on PC. It only crashed once for me, but most of the time, like there was some stuttering early on, but I feel like that's completely gone now.
That's good. Yeah. So they've probably patched a lot of it out, which is great. And I'm glad they're doing that. I just wish they wouldn't release games that are not ready.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are your thoughts? We had this conversation last time a little bit, and like I was very much in the camp of wanting to almost discourage this game from Game of the Year conversation because of the performance. How do you feel about that?
I wouldn't say like comparing it with like Hogwarts Legacy and Tears of the Kingdom, I wouldn't say this is like a game of the year contender.
Yeah.
I like this game. Don't get me wrong. And I probably am going to like it more than I'm not going to play Hogwarts Legacy because I'm not familiar enough with the Harry Potter franchise to care. But I am not going to say that this is a better game than that just based on what I've seen about it.
Yeah.
And like, I know this isn't the style of game that everybody likes the way that I do. So like, while this would be one of my top games of the year, I completely am ready for it not to even be in contention for game of the year on other people's list. And that's fine. I still enjoy the game and it's a great experience. And I think people should have it if they enjoyed Fallen Order or if they just like Souls-like games in general and Star Wars especially.
Yeah.
Great game. But yeah, performance-wise, I think that really should, to your point, come into account when talking about any kind of game of the year contenders. It's like, okay, yeah, it's a great game, but if like a lot of people are having issues playing it, like that really defeats the purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think it's going to be Game Awards, one of the game of the years for sure.
Do you think this one will be?
Yeah, I think it's
I
gonna be
hope
up
so.
there.
But
I think it'll definitely be up there in that list. And I think the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I feel like I was being a little hard. I still don't think that this game should launch broken.
I agree with you. I think it should take a hit. I think it's going to be a contender. I just think it should take a hit when it comes down to how you rate it.
For sure, yeah. If I put this up next to like, I mean, again, going back to Tears of the Kingdom, I mean, like, that game, I've had no problems with that game. It looks like shit sometimes, but it runs so freaking good and it plays well. I mean, a little frame rate dips, but it's not crashing on me, you know? And that's not, you can't say the same here.
Sure.
But yeah, it definitely is I just love the art style, the art direction, the combat is really good. The story so far has been really interesting to me. I didn't have many complaints other than just the fact that other people, and again, I didn't have a lot of performance issues either, other than it would crash desktop. But it's been good. It's been a good game.
Performance issues have been few and far between for me, so I'll say that. But I do know that it's happening to a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I'm not discounting the fact that it's happening, but don't let that discourage you from trying the game out.
Yeah.
At worst, wait until like all the bugs have been worked out, or at least the majority of them, which at this point most of them have, but there might still be some issues that are sticking around. But for $70, that's a tough sell to sell a game that has any sort of like issues like that. So that's why either wait till discount or wait until you know it's fixed for sure.
Plus, I think it's some of the best Star Wars content we got out right now.
Absolutely. Yeah. I really enjoy it as far as the story and just the Star Wars aspect goes. And I am a huge Star Wars fan. So for me, it would definitely be maybe right now my game of the year, but I don't know publicly if that's going to be the case so much. And that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a solid game. We've had a really good set of games so far this year. I mean, we've had a lot of broken ones too, Redfall, but it's definitely been really cool to see, like, between Hogwarts and this and Tears of the Kingdom now, like we've had some really great lineups only 5 months into the year. You know, we still have a whole half of the year to go through.
Yeah.
There's probably other games I'm missing too now that I think about it.
And I think they're finally starting to price games. They're starting to raise the price of games to the point that they probably should have been before. Not to say that I love that games are $70 now, but I feel like they held on to that 60 for longer than they really, maybe not should have, but longer than they, I guess, made sense, because like it was 60 it was 60 for years, and games are just steadily improving and getting more expensive to make. So it's like, it makes sense they're finally starting to up the price. So if anybody has issues with the $70 price point, I get it. Like, it's expensive, but it's like, look at what you're getting for that.
Yeah.
As long as the game is working. So
exactly. Yeah.
If a game's not broken, it's working great, then $70 totally worth it.
Yeah.
Or you can get the $100 EA pass and get it for a whole year. All the games that come out.
Yeah.
I find like that's a better deal in my opinion, because like I'll play this until I finish it and I'm done. Like I'm not going to play it again.
Yeah, I can go back into it. I might actually. I might do a new game plus. But
nice.
That said, I don't think I love the idea of like Game Pass in general and things like that, or EA Pass, whichever.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, you're getting to try these games out. You're paying a set amount per year. You can try a game out. If you don't like it, you just stop playing it. You don't have to feel like, oh, I paid for this. I need to keep playing. I need to finish it, even though you don't want to.
Yeah.
So that's one of the aspects I really appreciate. With that said, though, with so many good games that have come out this year already, is that a concern for people who are limited with the time that they have to play these games?
Yes.
Yeah, big time.
I'm having issues because I got Dead Island 2 before this game came out.
That game.
So I was like, I only put like maybe 5 hours into it, probably less. And then, so I was like, well, I jumped that ship for now. I do want to return to it. And this came out and it was like, oh, Breath of the Wild's coming out real soon. So now I've
Tears of the
kind of
Kingdom.
stopped. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Tears of the Kingdom. Sorry. So I stopped playing this. So I'm like, where do I put all my time into?
Lego 2K Drive just came out.
I saw that.
I mean,
Okay,
dude.
tell me a little bit about that because I got an email about that yesterday. It's like it's a massive open world Lego racing game.
Did we talk about this on the last podcast?
It's funny because we did. Because
Okay, summarize it
Jason
for
was
me
giving
then.
me shit because when I first saw the trailer and he told me about it, I was like, this game looks like crap. And then now I'm like excited about it in a weird way because like it looks silly and it looks like a B-rated game or whatever. But the more I got into it, and especially when I like went down the Lego rabbit hole, I was like, okay, I'm kind of into it now.
Oh,
But
that's true.
it's-
You're a Lego guy now.
yeah. So it's basically just a big open like Lego game. You just go do races here and there, but you also have the building mechanics. You can build like literally any car you want with the Lego pieces in the game, which is really cool. And then the racing, it's like I think there's like an open world kind of MMOE aspect to it, but really it's just like you're just doing races that are really fun and going through like not just a road, but like you're flying through the air and your car turns into a boat and you can start boating through the water and then you go back into like a car and do all that stuff. And it's just a big open expansive thing with a story that's silly like Lego usually is. And just a nice polished fun racing game. So
What is the multiplayer aspect of it?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, I really don't know. I just know
I saw it and I was like, wow, this actually looks good. A racing game I'd get into. And the Brett's like, I don't want to play that. I was like, what?
It's the first one I'm like, I don't want to do
What the
that.
heck, man?
No, Brett's all for it.
Yeah,
If
it's
you
funny.
guys listen to the podcast, he brings up every racing game known to man that comes out. And this one, he's like, no.
Yeah, I'd much rather play Lego racing than like Gran Turismo.
Yes.
Personally.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Y'all should all play Forza Horizon. Well, it's on PC too. Actually,
not doing
but
it.
It's such a good game. So good.
That's what I
Why?
keep saying.
So it's a.
Can I throw
Don't ask
turtle
him that.
shells?
Don't ask him.
No.
Okay.
No. But there's over 500 cars in the game you can collect. You can run around and find like hidden car finds in barns. They got all the gratification of like,
Wait,
oh, I just
how are
got
you- Are you driving into the barn or are you on foot?
Yeah, you drive. You can't
Oh,
get out of
okay.
your car. Yeah, there's
Oh,
no
okay.
getting out of the car. But you just like drive through the woods and you come across a barn and a cutscene
part.
starts and your guy goes up to the door and it's like, look at this cool old car we found. We're gonna fix it up for you. It's gonna be awesome.
okay.
This is a Jedi Survivor videos
we're
or
watching-
discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not Gran Turismo.
There you
I'm
go.
sorry I brought it up.
No, you're good. 2K Drive does have mixed reviews on Steam.
course
Somebody posted Predatory, so that's unfortunate. But
Surprised.
it looks like it may not be a good game after all. I don't know. Oh, it has microtransactions, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, one of those deals. Anyway, so Jedi Survivor, everybody. Check it out if you haven't already.
Don't
It's
play
fun.
Lego 2K Drive or whatever.
Yep.
At least not yet.
Not yet. It's predatory, apparently.
Yeah, wait until the Intergamer reviews it, and we'll waste the money for you. Yep. Check it out. Jedi Survivor. Let us know what you think in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you.